Star Wars!
Hey!
Nothing but Star Wars!
Oh my gosh, it's been many moons.
It's been a couple years, actually.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, it was for Gourmet Scum as well.
Yeah, from before, early 2019.
Okay.
Was our last scruffy-looking Scoundrels, folks. We're here.
We're here!
I might have to do this.
Yeah, I get it.
It just keeps fogging up. Hey, everyone. Our Star Wars show is back.
I'm excited.
Scruffy-looking Scoundrels.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, toys. Kenner. Kenner is magic.
Whew.
So yeah, we're gonna get back into talking about Star Wars. You know, you have a Star Wars show, or Chris Walk has a Star Wars show on the channel as well.
Yes, yes.
And what is that? That's Star Warriors.
Star Warriors.
Star Warriors. And that's a collective group of
Scoundrels.
yeah. Malcontents.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, who do I talk Star Wars with out of everybody in the group? It's you. It's
not Bobby.
You know, he'd probably cry and get angry and want to leave the room, especially with my 2 cents. But I mean, I think we have a fun, unique take. 2 cousins talking about Star Wars. One is far more positive than the other.
Yeah. That's for sure. For sure.
But it works. And, I primarily, I want to say that, real quick, I think the reason that Scruffy Looking Scoundrels was put on hiatus for a while was because of me. I definitely did get a little tired of the Star Wars world, as far as
the fan base,
the fandom.
Right.
I just was like, it was burning me out, and and I don't know why it should. It shouldn't bother me because I don't know these people. They don't know me. I have my love, and their shit shouldn't affect my love. But I think everywhere you turned in the Star Wars universe, like online or whatever, there was some sort of just negativity to it. And it bugged me. And I just was like, man, I don't want to talk about it right now.
I get it. Yeah.
But I'm definitely on
Are you on a positivity train?
Yeah. I think, who cares, Yeah. I mean, I take that credo with everything else in my life. Who the fuck cares?
You sure do.
I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. Yeah. So I'm back there. I'm back. Let's talk Star Wars.
Good. We
love Star Wars. It doesn't fucking matter about this and that and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is what we think and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Scruffy Looking Scoundrels. We're back to talk about the greatest space fantasy franchise in the multiverse, omniverse.
Yeah.
Galaxy wide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, you guys talk about this stuff on Star Warriors. But this is our perspective. This is us bouncing off of each other, and it's always going to be different from that. So I do appreciate anybody who listens to both, and might get something different from everything. Everyone has got their perspective, and so this is,
I mean, I know for me, I listen to like 3 Star Wars podcasts.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's because of, I like to hear different perspectives. And there's certain people that I like. There's certain people I listen to because I know I don't agree with them, but I want to hear what they think.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, it's a big enough galaxy for more Star Wars content and unique perspectives, and I think that that's something that we'll offer. I like it a little bit more singular. Like, even if, like, Bobby were a guest, or, you know, someone else was a guest on and we talked, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I like it a little bit like this as well. I think it, you know, different things come up. Sometimes when you have, like, Star Wars is a big group, and I love the perspectives, but it's a big group. So some voices get lost. So this will be good, because we can really hone in on whatever the hell it is that we want to talk about, and it's just the two of us for right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We'll have guests, of course. Of course, the Walkmeister.
Well, of course.
will be on this show. Yeah. You know, and yes, we will have Bobby on, if he promises not to cry and get angry with us. Or with me.
With you.
Yeah. So, just a refresher.
Mm-hmm.
We've been Star Wars fans our whole lives. We just kind of were born into it. When were you born?
81.
81. Okay, so you were right between Empire and Jedi, and I was born in 77. You know, we all saw Star Wars in a different way. I've talked about it before, but 1983 was huge because I was 6 years old, saw Return of the Jedi in the theater, but my first toy, other than like toddler baby toys, were Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
Star Wars was just in our blood. It's just been a part of us forever. As cousins, we went to see the re-releases together.
Yes.
Some of them anyway. And, you know.
The new, or the prequels. I think we saw all of them.
We did see the prequels together.
Yeah.
Yes. We made quite events out of them.
Most of the sequels.
Yeah.
Except for one. I think we didn't see Rogue One together. But I think
we did not.
We saw, and that was a winter storm. I remember specifically.
Yeah.
It kept us apart.
Lauren saw it with us.
Okay.
Our buddy Lauren.
Yeah. She'll be on. Lauren type. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, so yeah, we love Star Wars. And we bring with it our own, our own opinions. You are really, you are into it. You like every aspect of what is happening right now.
For the most part, yeah.
Media-wise,
yeah.
entertainment-wise. How Star Wars is given to fans. You have your toes and nips and tips.
Pretty much in every facet, yeah.
I am very selective.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's, there's things I love and things I don't love. And, it's okay for us to talk about them. And then today is going to be, we're going to try to do, now that the sequel trilogy has passed.
It's been a year?
I think, yep. Yeah. I think we should look back at it.
Okay.
The impact it had, overall, what it meant to you as a Star Wars fan, and what it meant to the connective tissue to Star Wars. And then we'll just quickly talk about Mando and the future of Star Wars, which
is bright.
Very bright. And, I mean, it's it's never going away, folks. Star Wars is here to stay, whether you like it or not.
It's the biggest franchise ever.
And what's great is there are so many different iterations of what is happening in the Star Wars universe that you can not like some things and love other things. They're giving you a lot to play with, so I appreciate that. So, Casey, my blood. Now that the Kyber crystal dust has settled on the salty crate floor, what is your overall thoughts on the sequel trilogy?
Overall, now that I have had the time to reflect and think and meditate, it is good. It is not great. There are many things. I'll take a little piece out of what you always say, which is like, they presented us with this thing, and therefore this is it. You know what I mean? There's other, ideas that could have happened and didn't happen. There's other scripts that didn't get made, and blah, blah, blah. What we have is what we have. So I will try not to deviate too much down a path of didn't happens and could have beens.
Yeah.
But for what we got, my overall feeling is that it could have just been better. I don't hate it. There's a lot of things I absolutely love in it, but I just feel like I can sum it up in one sentence, which is, it's not cohesive. Mm. And if they would have said from the beginning, this is 7, 8, and 9, and JJ or Trevorrow or Johnson or whoever, Kathleen, like, if they all would have sat in a room, and I'm sure they did, but said, this is it. This is A, B, and C. This is the story that we're going to tell, and this is it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's my overall thoughts on the whole thing, and, we can obviously extrapolate from there, but that's my thought, is it's not cohesive, and you just really needed a Kevin Feige to say, stay the course.
I will agree with you.
Okay.
I will agree with you.
I don't know how you can't, even if you're a huge fan.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy, I think, is good. And within the trilogy, there are some truly amazing things.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's some truly heinous things as well. 100%, it boggles my mind why they did not sit down with a cohesive story arc from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
It's somewhat infuriating. If you're a fan, like we are, if you're the die-hard fan, and we have talked about this for years, from my perspective of, this is the shit I was waiting for.
Yeah.
How many times did I say, the shit that happens after Return of the Jedi is what I want to see. Like,
for sure.
What is happening? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
And for the most part, they almost got it right, as far as I'm concerned. But it was just so... I can't even fathom why all these creative and talented people did not even think to... I mean, maybe they did, and then somehow were like, you know what? Let's do it different. And let's give everybody a chance to do whatever they want with each sequel, with each part, Like, that just doesn't make sense to me, and it doesn't make sense to the franchise overall. Like, these people should have sat in that room and come up with just A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And said, this is the story.
Yep.
And you filmmakers need to follow this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, do whatever, but like the original trilogy, it was George's story.
Yeah.
His stories. And he hired the filmmakers to bring that story to life.
Right.
And yeah, he hired, Lawrence Kasdan to bring that cohesive story to life. It's very weird. It's very weird, and they stumbled because of it. I don't envy JJ for two reasons. One, you're bringing Star Wars back.
Yep.
Which for me, he knocked it out of the park with that first one. Force Awakens, to me, I absolutely love it. And it is my favorite of the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
It did everything it needed to do for me. People keep harping on the, oh, but it's just a New Hope, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. He had to, really, he had to bring it back to unite the fans. He had to. And what was the best way to do that was to give you something comfortable, while also, people forget this, also setting up a new story, which he did.
Right.
He did. He brought in new characters, he intertwined the old characters, and he really did, I feel, the best that he could with that first movie. Everything after was when the disaster started happening, because of that unconnected tissue.
Correct.
And then I don't envy for what he had to do.
Come back
with the third movie.
Yeah.
To clean up the disconnection. You know, from taking Star Wars so far. Listen, it's not a matter of bringing in new things to the Star Wars universe, because we all want that. We really do. We all want new and exciting things.
Correct.
But to deviate so much in that one movie, almost disregarding what the first one was setting up, you know what I mean? It's like its own movie.
I think
like, what is happening in that movie?
Yeah.
Like, it's... Rian Johnson was just like... And I do not hate Rian Johnson.
I know.
I don't hate Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
He is a great filmmaker. He really is. But... I 100% agree, he truly was selfish with this movie. He made his Star Wars movie for him. He can't sit there and say, oh, I made it for the fans, because he didn't. He made it for him. This is exactly what he wanted to see happen in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
And he made that, completely disregarding what had happened before. And kind of saying, you got a hell of a job after me, you know?
Unless you wanted to stay
the course.
Stay his course.
Yeah. And clearly, Lucasfilm just did not have the balls to stay the course because of fan reaction.
Right.
So they thought they were doing the best that they could, and they say, okay, let's get rid of Trevorrow, let's get rid of this script, and bring back the safe choice of JJ, who started it all, and try to bring this home.
Right.
And give the fans what they want. And for me, he 50-50 did it.
Oh, JJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's some things, after the fact, there's some things in Rise of Skywalker that I definitely don't like. But man, there's some things that I love in that movie. So it's a 50-50 for me. But altogether, it's a good sequel trilogy, but damn is it... I mean, it's a broken trilogy. It is just a mess. It's a mess.
I mean, what's unfortunate is that now, because of how broken it is, like, they aren't going to retcon it. They're not going to erase it. They're not going to set up things in Mandalorian that negates the things that happen in that trilogy. They aren't going to do it. Because at the end of the day, the movie made billions of dollars.
Yes.
They have a whole, you know, they're still iconic characters, and they're never going to get rid of all that.
And fans, please, I implore you, Star Wars fans, remember that Star Wars is not just for you fucking, like me, 40-somethings, 50-somethings, who want what they want, and if they don't get it, are going to whine about it. These movies are also for fucking kids. And these movies like the terrible prequels, these movies have kid fans. There are characters that kids fucking love in these sequel movies.
Well, yeah.
So please, keep that in mind. Just because you didn't like it and you don't think it succeeded doesn't, you shouldn't take it away from all the fucking kids, which, hey, we were kids when we saw Star Wars. Remember that. And it blew our minds. So this stuff is blowing these kids' minds today, and this is what they have to grow up with.
Right.
So they love it, and I have to reconcile that for the prequels. Because to this day, I don't care what anybody tells me. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face. The prequels suck. For me. They suck. I do not like them. The only one I like is Revenge of the Sith, and that's like 60% like. Because there is no way you can tell me that those 3 movies are good. You can't. The sequels are better than those 3 fucking movies. In my opinion. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you, fuck you, you're wrong, I hate you.
Right.
You should die. I'm going to find where you are online and tell you you're wrong.
Right.
I don't care. Really, all joking aside, I don't fucking care. I just care what I think. And for me, those prequels they still don't work. And I think that was, it's almost like some of these kids are having retribution now because they're old enough with the sequels where they're hating on the sequels, but they love the prequels because they grew up with them.
Right.
And now they're like, haha, fuck you people, the sequels suck, but
Right.
So I think it's like a revenge.
Right. Almost.
Now we can say your Star Wars sucked and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
I think,
but here's an example.
Yeah.
River, who is almost 14, when he was a toddler, I showed him the prequels. You know why? Because that shit is going to appeal to the kid.
Yeah.
And it sure did.
Of course it did.
But as River got older, and as River watched those movies, he would turn to me and give me like a cringe look. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot deny it. And he does not like the prequels. And again, the only one he likes is Revenge of the Sith. And that's because there's some deep shit going on in Revenge of the Sith that finally we were getting. You know what I'm saying?
I think... I mean, I want to stay with the sequels, but I'll just comment real quick on the prequels.
Well, you can't talk about the sequels without the prequels.
You can't talk about, all of it.
And I'm going to talk about George Lucas in a minute, too, so get ready.
Well, I guess, for me, the prequels are not as good as the sequels. But there are times when I look at the prequels, and here's the thing. The prequels have had 20 years of, for me, ancillary stuff to fill in a lot of those things where even though they're not that great, Clone Wars exists, books and comics and other things that kind of go and say, well, this is why this is here. And I go, okay, so when I look at the prequels, I go, okay, I know there's this backstory for this character, and this is why they're doing this thing. George didn't tell me this, but, well, someone else did. So for those reasons, I don't hate them as much as I used to. But what I will say, just from the films itself, there was one story. Whether you like it or not, it was one story that George thought of A, B, and C.
Absolutely.
And even if it's not good, it makes sense for his story. I understand. Like, there's stupid things that happen in it that don't make sense. But overall, I feel like he wanted to tell the story of Anakin, and maybe his turn was fast, and we can go into deep dives in certain things, but overall, I think, like, he told his story. And there's things where I'm like, I miss, maybe you don't, but I miss politics in Star Wars. And I miss them going into, like, ships and stuff like that, where in this new sequel, I'm like, I kind of miss you filling out the world. And in this, I feel like it's very much focused on these guys and their story, but I don't know. I when I watch these new ones, I don't feel as... I'm connected to certain characters. I'm not as connected to the overall world. Though I've been in this world for the last 40 years, so I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I guess I'm like...
No, totally.
Naboo. I get Naboo. Coruscant. You know what I mean? I get it. Geonosia. I get it. Like, in this, it's just like, I couldn't tell you one place or another. Crate has salt. That's all I know. It has these foxes. Like, I guess
you know that it was, it was a base at one point.
Right.
But, again...
I mean, you spend an entire movie running out of gas until you get to this planet. And the other place that you show me is this weird casino world with horses that are getting abused. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care about it as much. And even in the last one... I mean, I like that sand world. That was really cool. It's like India or whatever. The one world where, like, she does the Goonies thing, like, that's not even a world. It's just a water place holding a Death Star. You know what I mean? I guess I just don't feel like as connected to some of the planets. A lot of the ships are the same that they've had for 30 years, which I thought was, like, okay, you just put new paint on X-Wings? Like, this is as far as technology has gone? I don't know. So anyway, overall, I think that the prequels had a cohesive story where the sequels do not, and that bothers me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But go off about George Lucas. Godfather. Lucas.
So everyone, well, the ones that are crying about it, they all say they want George back. They want George to do this. They want George to do that. I don't. For me, George's time is done. He can give his, advice here and there, which is great. But for me, George fucked up his story. He did things and created things and added things that did not need to be there. And everyone talking about this,
midichlorians.
Well, that does not exist for me. I mean, that is just so stupid. But that's old news. I mean, I'm not going to touch on that. I mean, it's so dumb. But everyone's saying the sequels, they're just fan fiction. Well, guess what? Everything since George has been fan fiction. It really has. Yeah. Everything you have read, watched, has been fan fiction. Regardless of what you tell me about Clone Wars, ultimately, it was Dave Filoni who flew that ship. Yes, he listened to George's shit about it. He was collaborating with George on the Clone Wars. But ultimately, it was fan fiction from what George created. So please, stop the fan fiction stuff, because that's what it is.
Right.
It's other artists taking what this guy had done and doing what they want with it. It really is.
But I mean, like, that's
Did
like...
George Lucas like that Chewie died from getting hit by a moon or something like that? You know what I mean? In the Legends and the EU and all that stuff? No. I'm sure he didn't. But who cares? It was out there. It was written. It was done. That stuff was created by artists who just took what George did and did something else. And that's what these guys in the sequels had to do. But not only did they have to do that, they had to bring Star Wars back from a place that was grungy. It was a hole of despair because the majority of people did not like those prequels. So Star Wars had a stain on it.
Yeah.
So they had the terrible task of trying to bring it back and give people what they wanted. And like I said, it was 50-50. But so George, I will never ever take what he did away. Star Wars would not be here if it weren't for George.
Correct.
His crazy world building, his crazy sense of technology and storytelling. I mean, there's never going to be anything better for me than those first 3 movies. As far as Star Wars is concerned. There's shit I love, but everything is held up to those first 3 movies.
You don't think you'll ever see anything better in Star Wars than those 3? I mean...
I'm talking about what he was able to do story-wise. If it weren't for those 3 movies,
course not.
Everything we have wouldn't even exist.
No, I know.
This guy did something that was unprecedented at the time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Now Kevin Feige has sort of shown the galaxy that he is king. I mean, what he has done with the Marvel Universe is insane. The guy is a fucking genius.
Correct.
You know? They need somebody like that.
I mean, that's it. Like, that's really one of the, the biggest thing is that they really, like, when I think about the Star Wars story group, what are you doing? Like, did you guys all go into a room and then go, you know what? We don't care what you just said. We're going to do our own thing. Because that's what it really seems like.
Now they're doing what they said they were going to do in the beginning with the High Republic.
So the High Republic... I mean? Yes.
Now they're like, yes, this cohesive story that we're going to tell from this time period to this time period.
And it's in phases.
Yeah.
Like, we are in phase 1.
They have chapters.
They have years planned out.
This is what should have happened.
Oh my gosh.
This is what they said was going to happen.
Right.
And it did not happen. So, it's really, pick and choose. What you like, what you don't like.
I think I think it sucks too, like, because they're also not doing anything with that trilogy right now. Like, there was a Kylo prequel book, or a comic series. It's not good. There's a couple books that take place that are mostly for young adults, which is fine. But again, I don't really know. But, like, I just feel like it's almost like you did it. They gave us a Christmas special, the Lego Christmas special that has them in it. But it's now they're almost so stepping away from it that it's like they're almost ashamed of it.
I don't think so, because out of those movies, there were characters that really resonated with people, and
I know,
I'm telling you something.
But why aren't they doing anything?
Because of the fan reaction.
So, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you do it,
mark my words.
I know.
10 years down the road.
10 years down the line, we'll get a whole Rey trilogy or something.
I don't know if we'll do that, but we will see these characters again.
I know. I just don't want it to be... It's like... I get it. I almost want to say double down on it, though. Like, give us a cool Kylo something where you go, you know what? You did love him. Most people will argue that Ben Solo was great. You know what I mean? That's not so much a fight.
I mean, he's really the best part of those sequels.
Right, so it's like, just give us that something. You know what I mean? Like, don't just completely abandon the ideas. Like, show now... You know that everyone is so mad because Finn didn't turn out to be a Jedi, which is stupid, honestly. Like, give us a Finn story of him getting trained with Rey. Give us a comic. Give us a book. Like, say, hey, you know what? Just like you did with Clone Wars. I know you're pissed off, but let me tell you why we did these things. And I bet they will. I hope they will. I hope they do.
I really do. I think all of this that's happening now is sort of a... Let's soothe this beast.
Right. Because there is things that I do love Finn and I love Rey
and try to make it work for everybody.
Yeah.
You know. And I'll touch on the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Because you did mention them.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the time, guys. We're trying to do these things, and it says 45.
It's all right. No, that's at
I don't know
35.
Okay.
It's
okay.
35. We're okay. So Clone Wars. You love the Clone Wars, and I do not, and it is mostly because it is connected to the prequels. I don't like the aesthetic of the prequels.
Mm-hmm. I know you don't even like the look of the clone troopers
just so
and
ugly.
all that stuff.
I just think it looks real ugly.
Yeah.
And because those effects in the original movies looked like a cartoon, and this cartoon, it's too connected. I mean, it is the Clone Wars. So that world I don't like and I don't appreciate, regardless of some of the stories that are being told. There is some Clone Wars that I do like. I really do like it. It would be near the end, maybe 5 and 6 are probably the best for me.
Okay.
But and again, it just goes back to the sequels where people were like, where did these powers come from and what is happening why is this happening and why is this happening and blah blah blah. What was introduced in the Clone Wars and Rebels is far crazier than what we got in the sequels as far as introductions to new things. We were getting new crazy shit in those animated shows all the time that you're just like, what? Who are these? What? Force wolves? What? Going into some weird interdimensional
time travel. Yeah, like when I rewatch Clone Wars, we're rewatching it now with my wife, and there are things in there like them communicating with animals and stuff. And at first, I didn't remember it. I read it in Dooku Jedi Lost, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. He's communicating with a monster." And then in Clone Wars, I was like, "Oh, they already did this? Oh shit, I totally forgot about that." And the Force talk with Rey and Kylo. Clone Wars did it. There was other stupid shit in there too, where I was just like, they already set up things. There is lines in Clone Wars now that I'm seeing from in High Republic, reading the book, and I was like, huh, you guys. So yeah, Clone Wars is going to be in Rebels are going to be your wild concepts of anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people have an issue with that to begin with. Like, because you haven't seen it before, it shouldn't exist. Do you know what I mean?
Star Wars.
That's like...
that's...
How
they can literally do anything.
We've never seen that.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. You know? We never saw a green Jedi Knight. You know what I mean? We tiny little Jedi Knight hopping around with a lightsaber and shit like that. We never saw a Sith or Jedi shooting lightning from his hands.
Until we saw it.
I
mean, like, those arguments are just very dumb.
It's just so stupid.
There's plenty of things to complain about. Those aren't the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's just... I hope someday I'll look back on them a little bit more fondly, but I have not watched the third movie since the theater. I watched the docs. I felt good enough that I relived it through those documentaries, and of course I just love documentaries, so even on a shitty movie, a doc explaining things is going to be cool, but right now I am so happy with how they're doing things with Mandalorian and what the future is, and like I'm reading the High Republic, and I'm excited about the other stuff that I don't really want to go backwards and revisit something that I'm not super pumped up about. I'd rather stay on the positivity train. What you said, Force Awakens, absolutely, I could watch it over and over again, and I really don't have any super big complaints about it. Nothing that takes me out of the movie.
My complaint about The Force Awakens is what happens after The Force Awakens. Because then you're like, What a great movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have been really wanting to watch Rise of Skywalker again. But Katie was like, let's do a whole Star Wars thing, and let's start from, you know.
Are you going to do the full thing, or?
No.
Okay. Like,
She will not.
I have a friend who's like, he does prequels, he does the Jendi, Clone Wars, he does the games, like, what do you call it, Fallen Order, he's going all the way.
No. Made up gobbledygook.
You're just going to watch, what, Solo,
No,
Rogue One?
I don't even know if we'll do Solo.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Solo.
I mean, yeah, but in the overall story of things, it's not really it's kind of a one-off, you know?
Right. For now.
So, I am going to make Katie watch Revenge of the Sith, though.
Okay.
So we'll start with Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'll do, like, Rogue One and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But I'm contemplating skipping The Last Jedi.
On the Star Wars podcast, they talk about how Mark Hamill has never acted so good as he did in that movie. And for
He's
that,
really good.
I agree.
He was great. He was great.
He really brought it to the table.
Yeah.
And you can't, I mean, I feel like you can't deny that. He
was wonderful.
Did an amazing job.
I just wish he was given better material.
Yeah.
As far as what happens to Luke.
I think, like, even if you agree with him turning, away and cutting himself off from the Force, I'm fine.
I do. I do agree with that.
I do, but I wish he just, at the end, would have been like, though, I've got to do it. I've got to save my nephew.
And he did in his own way. He did in his own way, but it's not what us whiny fans wanted.
I know.
Because if you think that people don't change, and people don't change in 30 years, you're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. You are an idiot.
Of course people change in 30
You don't
years.
know what happens to a person.
Right.
We certainly don't know. All we knew was what was presented to us.
Correct.
But you have to go, people have pasts. People have been through some shit. And that can fuck up a person. It really can. So, I don't know.
I'm like I said, I don't disagree with that choice. I just wish that he would have not died and continued on into that third movie to help Rey and save the galaxy again.
I do.
That's
he
all.
should not have died.
That's all.
In that second movie.
Yeah.
And that full fucking redemption we should have gotten in the third one, like the glory of.
Could you imagine him and
Master
Ben
Jedi.
then at the end fighting against the Emperor? Could you even
all three of them
fathom? Yes, that's well. Yes,
it would have been fucking amazing.
And if we would have saw the Force ghosts instead of just heard them, like Revenge or a Return of the King, like full on ghost fight thing.
Yeah, that was a lost opportunity. It's shocking that they didn't do that, and people would have cheered.
They would have lost their goddamn minds. They would have said, "You know what? It's stupid that the Emperor is back, but this is so cool. I don't care." That's what they would have said.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to move on from? Because now I'm getting angry again.
We'll just do the, Mando's great.
So good.
Mandalorian is great. Now here's what I'm going to say, and it's probably going to anger some people about the Mandalorian. I really am not praising Filoni that much. I just am not. The majority of everything that I love in The Mandalorian is straight from Favreau. And this is because Filoni is so stuck on doing his own thing and what he created. that I think it sort of blinds the rest of the production. Because think of how many things from the Clone War era and from Rebels are popping into this story. That is straight from Filoni. That ain't Favreau. And you can tell, I think, what's Favreau.
I am not going to disagree that it's a
so it's
there's a lot of
I don't get to do my animation anymore, so I'm going to bring in what I want into the Mandalorian world. And it's not like I don't like those certain things.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, wow, that's cool. A live action version of this character. Look at how badass they are.
Yes.
But it's like Filoni's really doing it because he created it. You know what I mean? He started it in this world. It's like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to bring these in and weave it. And what's he doing now? Oh, he's going off to do his Ahsoka live action television show.
I'll say this, and we go really deep into it on Star Warriors, the latest episode. If you took out the Ahsoka thing, okay, because it really is a backdoor pilot episode, and it doesn't super affect.
Bo-Katan.
No, but just let me. I think that would be okay, and like if you took it out of there, even though I love it. And you just had Ahsoka show up on her own and do her own episode or series, it wouldn't have changed much of the trajectory of The Mandalorian. I feel, with the introduction of Bo-Katan and Boba Fett, I think our idea of what The Mandalorian is not that dude. I think the Mandalorian is the Mandalorians. I think that's what, like, I don't know if that's Filoni. I don't know if that's Favreau, but I feel like it's...
Favreau went to Kennedy and said, I want to make a Mandalorian show.
Correct, but we don't know if he said, I want to make a Mandalorian show starring Clint Eastwood, or I want to make a Mandalorian show about all of Mandalore. Because if you take out the Ahsoka thing, everything that Filoni, yes, he put all that stuff, including Jon Favreau, in his Clone Wars episodes, that could have been the thing for Favreau to go, you know what? We really don't know much about this culture and the people in the culture, and that is my show. Yeah. And that is where I think the Ahsoka thing, I will, even though I think it's cool as hell, I completely agree with you. There wasn't a need to say Thrawn and blah, 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 like, whatever. Like, I think it's cool.
I'm okay with going into the Mandalore.
But I think that's what it is.
Lore.
Yes.
But look at the 2 seasons and look at who the majority of the writing is. That's Favreau.
It's Favreau.
And you can tell that he's bringing in a lot of his Star Wars, which is my Star Wars.
Of course.
He is basically taking his action figures and playing with them.
But I don't think Filoni is taking away from that. I think Filoni is just being a little bit more like, hey, dude.
I'm just saying... He is not the big reason why I love this show.
Okay, that's fair.
His flourishes are fine, you know. I think people just put so much love and stock into Filoni.
Well, he's got a great track record. As far as Clone Wars, as far as Rebels.
But not for me.
Because you don't watch those things.
Well, but I did. I watched all of Rebels.
Okay.
I like Rebels more than I like Clone Wars.
That's
you know why?
A valid argument. Because it doesn't have to do with the clone.
Because it has nothing to do with the fucking prequels. Well, it does, but I mean, it doesn't look like that. Right. It's in the world that I love of Star Wars.
Right.
And it takes away a lot of that shit that I just don't care about.
I know.
I mean, holy crap.
Okay, so Mandalorian is great.
It is good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, we're gonna get some. I'm gonna get some shit or whatever, but I don't care. You can think what you think. I can think what I think. I don't hate Filoni, but I think, man, people really worship this guy for. I don't know. I don't think he deserves the worship because for me, he didn't really create much of anything that blew me away. He just didn't. So plus he's going off of George's wackadoo tales of what this is all about, and
I think Filoni
totally stretched from what the original Star Wars was. So
Filoni's mini George Lucas, and I think the two of them together Filoni and Favreau, because I don't think Filoni would be as live action, would be as able to hold things on his own as Favreau, who does have, again, an incredible track record, and clearly the dude gets Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone was going to take over as creative director, I would rather it be Favreau than Filoni.
Okay.
I just do, because, man, Filoni will just turn it into one long fucking Clone War thing. And I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that.
I guess you'll have to see when the Ahsoka show comes out or something.
Well, it's going to be Thrawn.
Rebels,
it's going to be fucking...
the sequel.
Yes, it's going to be Rebels
Part 2. Sequel to Rebels.
Which is like, okay. But, you know. I mean, the future of Star Wars for me really is the High Republic.
Okay.
That's for me. And I'm not saying I'm not going to watch any of these shows, because I'm going to watch it all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch The Bad Batch, but because I just...
I am. I don't know if I'm going to watch that droid show.
I'm definitely not going to watch that.
Yeah.
What I mean is, I'm watching The Acolyte.
Yeah, of course.
I am watching Rangers of the...
New Republic.
Yeah. I'm watching the television shows. I'm watching Andor. I'm watching...
Obi-Wan,
of course. Boba Fett. Hell yeah, you know?
Mm-hmm.
After Return of the Jedi is my sweet spot. And that's one of the reasons why I love Mando, because it's after Return of the Jedi. Fuck the prequels. I just get away from that era. But ultimately, regardless of me saying, oh, I want this timeline after Return of the Jedi, I want even after the sequels. You know what I mean? Or again, I want way before the fucking prequels. So, because I just...
You want to get away from the Skywalker
Yeah, man.
saga.
If they set up this world, yes, it originally came from these 3 movies, and then ultimately, everything that has been happening has sprung from those original movies.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
There is some sort of Skywalker connection into everything that has been happening from 77 to now. There just has.
Exception of so far High Republic.
Except for the High Republic.
So far.
Yeah. Well, Yoda.
Yes, Yoda.
Yeah. But I can guarantee Yoda ain't going to be talking about Skywalker 300 years before the Phantom Menace. But if you're establishing this galaxy, right? It's huge. It's huge. And you have room to play. So, please... And I think they're on the right track. But please, just get away from this timeline. From these people. From this faction of this faction. Get the fuck away from it. The world is vast. The galaxies, the universe, the omniverse, the multiverse. It is vast. Let's see what's happening on a planet 5,200, years from now, or away from this and away from this, and no Tatooine, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's restart it. New characters, brand new characters. Yeah. New threats, new creatures, new monsters, new bad guys. Hey, maybe no Jedi. Maybe no Sith. Something else. Another type of Luke on another planet who's like, I want to do this for this. I want to go on this adventure, and these are my pals, and we're going to do this, and we're going to right the rights, and you know what I mean? That's got to be happening, right?
Hey, man. So far, the High Republic checks off a lot of... I mean, there's Jedi.
So well, I'm Jedi okay with that, because ultimately...
You don't know any of them.
The biggest thing I love about Star Wars in general are the bad guys and the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the good guys are Jedi, and yes, later it was established, but the bad guys are known as the Sith. That is exciting to me. That's intriguing to me, because it's something that, for me as a fan, I just don't know that much about. So I want to see those glory days. I want to see when there were thousands of Jedi. That's exciting to me. There's no Luke, no Han, no Darth Vader, no any of this, no any of that. what does that look like? Man, I bet it looks fucking awesome. So the High Republic, the Old Republic, things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That excites me. That intrigues me. But aside, after the sequels, I would love to see something that is
so far ahead,
so far away, on a neighboring world, on a neighboring planet that has nothing to do with Thrawns or Emperors or anything like that. How intriguing and how fun for a creator to be like, okay, you're giving me the Star Wars name, but now I can go wherever, you know, Star Wars, you know, Michael Jackson's Captain EO, you know, like on planet Zabubia, you know, like, and you just are fresh. That would be fantastic.
Someday you will get that.
I really hope so.
Thing.
I really hope so. But I will eat up what we have right now.
Yeah.
You know, so. But, you know, High Republic and the Acolyte are really the two things that are super, super, like, I can't wait for those.
Well, I can't wait for you to read it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I have it. I started it.
Okay.
I did start it. I do have the book. So I'm going to start that. And get thick with that. Right?
Yeah. I'm almost done. I have like an hour left of the audiobook.
Okay. Has Yoda shown up?
His name has.
Okay.
Yeah. He has his own comic.
Oh, yeah. I know he does. Yeah. I know they did devote a little bit to him.
Yeah.
A little later.
Yep.
Have you picked that up? I mean, have you...
I'm waiting, because it all springs from this book.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm not reading anything else until the
right.
book's done.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, you know, we still love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That's why we're doing this. So...
Absolutely.
Even if we debate about certain aspects of it, the love of the franchise has never wavered for me, ever.
He's not wrong. I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just your opinion.
That's it.
You can love Star Wars the way you want to love Star Wars, Bobby.
It's good. Yeah.
Wow. So we did it.
Yeah.
Our brand new episode of Scruffy-Looking Scoundrels.
Feels good.
I can't wait for the arguments.